כאילו זה כל כך מגוחך מה שאמרתי, שזה בדיוק מה שיקרה. טוב, frequency means how many times the result shows up. Got it? So the result of 1, the roll of 1 appeared 5 times. The roll of 2 appeared 3 times. Got it? So and so.
מה זה roll?
roll זה תוצאה.
אוקיי.
זה פשוט.
בסדר?
כי לא הבנתי את האנגלית בזה.
כן.
אולי אני חושבת שבהטלה הראשונה יצא 5, בהטלה השנייה 3, בהטלה השלישית 3. לא,
ממש לא. frequency זה תדירות.
frequency זה תדירות.
תדירות זה כמה פעמים זה מופיע. מה זה יכול להיות דבר כזה? עכשיו, אני יודע שלא דיברנו על זה עדיין, אבל זה הגיוני כי אתם יודעים את משמעות המילה תדירות. טוב, let's move on. If the average arithmetic mean of all the rolls is A, now what is an average? An average is we have 5 times 1 plus 3 times 2 plus 3 times so on and so forth, right? In fact, we have 3 times, quiet please, we have 3 times 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, right? זה בעצם הסכום של כל ההטלות, כולם מסכימים? I have 5 rolls of 1. I have 3 rolls of 2, so on and so forth, right? And by the way, it makes sense because 5 times 3, how much is it? 15. 15 plus 5 is 20. It makes sense, right? That we rolled it 20 times, right? And we got this. Now, if I divide this by 20, I get an A. Got it? זה הממוצע. If the average of all the rolls is A. So that is the average. Now, we have, instead of doing 3 by 2 plus 3 by 3 plus 3 by 4, I realized that it's 3 times all of these guys, right? Now, how do I do this? How do you add all of these numbers? How do you add all of these numbers? Yeah. How? Well, 6 plus 4 is 10. 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 10 plus 10 is 20. So that is 3 by 20 plus 5. That is 65 divided by 20. That is 3.25, right? 20 divided by 60 divided by 20 is a 3, and 5 divided by 20 is a quarter. Now, and the median of all of these rolls is B. Now, we have yet to talk about median. I mentioned it just randomly, haphazardly. I told you that median is the middle-sized number. Median זה חציון, זה המספר האמצעי בגודלו. What is the middle-sized number here? Can anyone tell me?
3 plus 3 divided by 2.
No.
האמצע זה 3.
The middle-sized quiet please, quiet. The middle-sized number is the average between the 10th number and the 11th number. No, but I want you guys to realize that. Why? Because you have 20 numbers, right? You have 20 numbers, they're spread out. The first 5 numbers are 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. After that, you have, what do you have?
2, 2.
2, 2, 2. After that, what do you have?
3,
3, 3, 3. After that, what do you have? 4, 4, 4. Blah, blah, blah. This is 5, this is 8, this is 10. Got it? So this is the 10th item, and this is the 11th item. Got it? The median is the middle-sized number in a set that is ordered. So this is the guy. It's going to be a 3. Now, a couple of you mentioned a 3, but it has to be based on this. Got it? Sometimes people make them as 3 is, it looks like it's in the middle of that, so it makes sense. By the way, if all of the quantities were identical, if I were to have 3 of 1, 3 of 2, so on and so forth, where would the median have been? 3.5. Fantastic. It would have been exactly, it would have been the same amount of numbers here, same amount of numbers here, so it would have been exactly in the midway through 3 and 4. Agreed? Why? Because it's like you have one of each, right? It's like, what is the median of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? What is the median? It's this, 3.5. Got it? But since we have more ones, that means that the median is going to fall closer to 3. In fact, it's going to fall exactly in the group of 3. I didn't know that in advance. I needed to do this. And I think you should have done that as well. So the average A is a 3.25. The median, which is B, is 3. And the question is, which of the following must be true? So A is equal to B? No. B, what is C? Just a sec. And, and the mode. What is the mode? This is
מספר פעמים שהוטלה.
1.
mode is the most common thing. Is the most
Three.
common
It's a one.
number. No, the most common number is 1. Yeah. The most.
You
Do
can
you see
have it.
exactly? So it all boils down to the basic understanding of the table. We haven't spoken about tables, so you guys didn't know that just yet, right? But the mode, the thing, Danielle, that showed up more than other things is the 1, right? The 1 appeared 5 times. Got it? So, all told, what do we have? A is equal to B? No. Remember what we said. Even if you just know that this is incorrect, what do? You eliminate. Good. אנחנו מוחקים את כל התשובות שמכילות את אחד רומי, נכון? So even, let's assume I had no idea what a mode is, I would still be able to eliminate 3 answer choices. Now I have 2 or 2 and 3, right? What is B? B is a 3. Is it more than 1? Yes, it is. Is C equal to 5? No. Actually, C is the mode is equal to the thing that showed up the most, the greatest number of times, exactly. So the correct answer choice is B. You got it? It wasn't a very difficult question. I'm not sure, it's a WhatsApp group worthy, but still, it's.
זה היה ארוך מדי
לא
להסביר.
הבנתי את ה...
Yeah.
לא, קראתי
It's
את זה.
please. I'm sorry? אמרתי לא.
בגלל שלא הבינה שזה תדירות. כן.
נכון. אני מוכרח להודות גם שהמילה roll היא קצת בעייתית.
גלגול.
זה כאילו, roll is what you rolled, נכון? אבל on the examination, they probably wouldn't call it a roll, they would call it the result. We toss a coin or you roll a die and the result is 1. Got it? So on the examination, they would probably use the word result here, so that kind of threw you off. No worries. One last remark about this?
לא, אפשר להוסיף עוד 2 שאלות?
Yes, because you were late. Sure. No, I don't mean that as a critique. Go ahead. Especially not when you have me on camera. 3, 5, 6?
6 ו-7.
Yeah. Okay. So this was question number 7.
לי יש שאלה על זה. על ה-X10 ו-X11, שאמרת שזה ביניהם.
Yep.
זה לא... זה כאילו מספר שלם שביניהם? זה לא חצי, 3.5?
Listen, that's a good question. Let's assume you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the median? The median is going to be the middle-sized number, which is 3, right? What happens if you have 1, 2, 3, 4? What's going to be the median? Exactly, it's going to be the middle-sized number, which is here. Now, you don't have a middle-sized number. So when you don't have a middle-sized number, what do? You just average. Exactly. אתה רק עושה את הממוצע של שני המספרים מהאמצעים. מובן אותי now? So you do, here you do 2 plus 3 divided by 2 and you get out 2.5. Going back here, the average of 3 and 3 is 3. It's just that they are the same, they're not distinct. So the average basically is identical to each of them. Got it? Okay, good. Moving on, please. Question number 8. Who's this? של מי שלנו מספר 8?
שלי.
Okay. Now,
איזה?
question number 8.
לא, זה היה של דניאל, אני חושבת.
לא, אני...
מישהי רצה את של... לא.
שלי, כן.
כן, אוקיי.
אני מצטערת.
זה בסדר. מה זה נוראי מה שאמרתי? שאם אני מבקש מהם לעשות את זה, אם היא תיקח את זה, אז הם יעשו את הפעם שלה? זה היה נוראי שאמרתי את זה?
מה אמרת?
פשוט שמת לה את האמת מול הפנים.
זה קורה בלי סוף, זה קורה הרבה, זה לא
מה
נעים.
אמרת?
את האמת.
זהו, נגמר.
לא, זה נוראי, אני לא...
אותך. זהו,
You're a terrible human being.
אין לי סכנה.
So, and let's continue. If a 30%, quiet please. If a 30% salt solution is added to a 50% salt solution. Now, we spoke about solutions, right? We said that quiet please, if we do this times the whole, we're going to get the part. We're going to get the clean material. So we're talking about 30 and 50. And 50, which one could be the concentration of the resulting mixture. Now, please go ahead.
תחזור על זה?
Yeah. זו הנוסחה הבסיסית שאמרתי לכם לגבי תמיסות, נכון? אמרתי, ריכוז באחוזים כפול סך כל תמיסה שווה לחומר הנקי, נכון?
אוקיי.
את לא זוכרת את זה?
לא.
אני ארשום את זה עוד פעם. אז ריכוז באחוזים כפול סך הכל שווה לחומר נקי. זו הנוסחה הבסיסית לגבי תמיסות או לגבי תערובות. בסדר? אבל, and please remember this as well, We also spoke about the axis, right? We also talked about weighted average axis. נכון? דיברנו על ציר ממוצע משוקלל, נכון? I don't think that we solved the question together with a weighted, that deals with solutions with a weighted average axis. But I'll do that as well. You know what? First of all, I'll do it like that because I always solve at least one question with a weighted average axis, and I'll explain it. First of all, you would agree with me, if you mix 30 and 50, it doesn't even matter what the quantity here is and what the quantity here is, right? The average will have to be where?
Between.
Between, fantastic. Can it be 40?
Yeah.
Yes. Can it be 45?
Yeah.
Yes. Can it be 50?
No.
No. Why? Because if you mix a 50 with something that is less than 50, exactly, it will have to be, even if I have, 100 gallons here and only a cubic centimeter here, the average is going to fall very, 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 very close to 50, but it's not going to be 50, right? Because you watered it down, you diluted it, got it? So that's it, that's basically what solves it. It's 1 and 2 in the correct answer choices B. Now, I taught you this when we talked about percents, but when we talked about percents, I also told you that there is a different way of solving solutions, especially if you're talking about two solutions, so please write it down. If you're talking about two solutions, אם אנחנו מדברים על שתי תמיסות, אנחנו יכולים גם לפתור את זה באמצעות ציר ממוצע משוקלל. ציר ממוצע משוקלל. We spoke about that. Didn't we talk about that? Right, with the opposite ratio?
כן,
We did, right?
שציור...
No? You don't remember that? Okay. Let's assume for a second that you have 4 gallons of 30% salt solution, right? Let's assume that you have 12 gallons of a 50% salt solution, right? Yeah, you could do that. You could do the weighted average. You could do this times that plus this times that divided by altogether 16 gallons. And that would give you the resulting, number, and then you divide that by 6 plus 4, by 4 plus 12. You could have done that. You know how to do that, but you're not here to do that. You're here to understand the logic behind it and solve it faster. Remember that this weighted average axis even works if you're talking about solutions. Let me solve this quickly.
רגע, זה נחשב משוקלל כמו שאתה עשית?
כן, כן.
אז כן, אני יודעת מה זה.
30%, 4, 12, 50%, 4 to 12, that is 1, 2, 3, so that's going to be 3 to 1, right? Altogether we have 20, 20 at a ratio of 3 to 1, that's going to be a 5 and a 15, right? So that is 45. Got it? Let me, again, just so you know, instead of doing the entire calculation that Tal said earlier, הממוצע משוקלל עובד פה טוב מאוד, את צודקת לחלוטין, אבל ציר ממוצע משוקלל עובד פה יותר טוב. יותר מהר, והוא גם מסביר משהו שחישוב לא כל כך מסביר. Got it? If you were to know this going into that question, you would have been able to solve it in a heartbeat, in a second. Why? Do you agree? This is a weighted average axis, right? It works whenever we have two groups that have different quantities and different qualities, right? Different quantities and different qualities, averages. It's just that the average here is the number of percentage, the number of percents, right? We have 4 at 30%, 12 at 50%. Every one of these gallons, if you were to pull it out and you were to measure how many parts of salt you have there, would be 30 portions of salt and 70 portions of water, right? Here, 50 portions of salt and 50 portions of water, right? So it's like an average. It's like I mix this group, with that group, and what's going to be the overall average? This is what a weighted average axis is all about. Now, what did we say about a weighted average? Let's do it again, slow motion. What is a weighted average? What do we do? How do we start? Small. Fantastic. The small average is going to be the upper left corner. Everybody agrees? Right? So what is the smaller average that we have here? No.
30%.
30%, exactly. 30, everybody agrees?
Yeah.
And we have a quantity of 4 here. What's going to be here?
12.
What's going to be here?
50%.
Exactly. And this is the first concept I want you guys to remember, how to lay it out. The second concept I want you guys to remember is to divide the gap, right, the range between 30 and 50 at a ratio that is opposite to the ratio of the quantities. What is the ratio of the quantities here? 1 to 3, exactly. So this is going to be 3 to 1. Got it? So now all that I had to do is basically just divide the gap between 30 and 50, which is how big?
40.
20%, exactly. That ratio of 3 to 1. Now, Tal, if I'm not really good at this, what I can do is I can just attach x's to them. Because we said that if we need to add this and that, then we add numbers of a ratio. If you want to add numbers of a ratio, what you first need to do is to attach x to them. So 3x plus 1x equals a 20%. So 4x equals a 20%. So x equals a 5%. Correct, Daniel. So either I go from 55% back and I land on 45, or I go from 30, 3 times x, right? 3 times x is 3 by 5%, which is 15. 30 plus 15 is indeed 45 as well. Got it? So it works. I mean, and I just gave you a question that is much, much harder than that one, and still we were able to solve it relatively easily. Got it? Why did I teach you this? And I told you that last time as well, and here's the proof, because you were slightly skeptical about it. I told you, listen, with this method you can see things that in a calculation format you don't necessarily see. What you see from the get-go is if you mix a 30 and a 50, you don't even care about the quantities. You know that the average is going to fall somewhere here, but it's definitely going to be more than 30, and it's definitely going to be less than 50. Got it? So you can even calculate it using the accurate quantities, but you don't have to have them. Good. Moving on, please. Question number 9. Who's this? Question number 9. Set A consists of 5 numbers with a median of an m. Now, this again talks about a median. Would you like to wait for it? Would you like to, because this second question that talks about a median, I want to teach you next week, I'll teach you guys statistics, right? After we learn statistics, or maybe in 2 weeks' time, after we learn statistics, go back and solve this question, and go back here and solve the other question that you mentioned. Moving on, please, page 352, question 8. Who's this? Shamizo? It's yours?
למה אני לא הצלחתי אותם, אבל זה לא רשום.
אוקיי. 352? שאלה 8. אוקיי, כמה אנשים רוצים? אוקיי, אני פשוט אסביר אותו. אוקיי. Every marble in a jar has either a dot, a stripe, or both.
אמרת לא לעשות את זה.
כן, נכון, אמרת לא לעשות את זה.
Yeah, today we're going to talk about it. Today we're going to talk about sets.
בגלל זה לא...
זה היה
שאלה נחמד דווקא.
Yeah. This is sets. This is overlap. This is overlap. Today we're going to talk about it. So why don't we solve this question during the sets section? So let me just mark it. Question number 9. An ant must walk from one vertex of the cube to the opposite vertex. Now, vertex is what? קודקוד. איך אומרים מישור?
face.
Plane. Now, the ant needs to go from here. Now, today we're going to talk about 3D as well, by the way. So we haven't spoken about 3D just yet. To the opposite vertex, it needs to go from the lower, left, bottom vertex to the upper, right, back vertex.
יכול להיות גם כל קודקוד אחר.
Yeah, but the two vertices have to be opposite. Got it? So it can be either these two, or these two, or these two. Got it? It always has to be opposite. And they only walk along the edges of the cube. What is an edge? Edge is זה. נכון? כאן. רק על הקווים. Did you hear that one? No, you did.
עשינו את זה
לא, היא כתב
בקבוצה. מישהו פתר לי את זה בקבוצה.
אני. אמרתי לך את זה.
Let's solve it. Who's this? של מי השאלה הזאת?
I take it.
Okay. גבר. Quiet, please. And back to the starting position. So it goes like this, yeah, and then it goes like this, for example. Yeah.
No, it has to get to the other side.
זה לא משנה.
It did.
Oh, okay.
For the entire trip, its path must traverse exactly 6 edges. In other words, stay with me, it can't go back. So it has to go in the shortest possible route. It's an economical
אבל יותר חוזר.
ant. Yeah, but it can, altogether, everything needs to take 6. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's going from here, right? It's going to be 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3. Got it? It has to be 3 edges, 3 edges to there and 3 edges back from there. Quiet, please. My point is that while it's walking, it can go here and then go back. Got it? Because then it's going to take it more than 6 edges. Good. Moving on. And it may travel on the same edge twice. How many different 6-edged paths can the ant choose from? Now, this appears to be what? A combinations question, right? Because they're asking me how many possibilities are there. So what you need to do, remember what we said. We said that if we have a combinations question, what is the first thing that we do? We ask ourselves,
how many steps?
How many steps are there? So now we understand it has to go 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then let's assume that we are the ant and we're here. Now the ant can take this path, or it can take this path, or it can take that path. Got it? So how many options does it have? 3. Let's assume it got here. Here, how many options does it have?
2.
Exactly, either this one or that one. Okay, let's assume it got here. How many options does it have to go there? Only 1. Good. Now we're working chronologically. Let's assume it got here. How many options does it have? 3, 2, 1. Multiply everything that is 36. 3, 6, 36.
צריך לעבוד גם להתאמן ולצבוע אותם, כי זה לוקח לי מלא זמן.
Yeah, that's a good point.
יושבת ככה כדי
It doesn't have to be perfect, but most of it has to be shaded. So even this is not perfect.
אבל אסור שזה יצא, נכון? כי אסור שזה X.
No. The computer doesn't know if you do, as far as the computer knows, here you marked this one. Got it? A human will look at it and say, oh no, she didn't mark, she didn't do
אני
this.
כעשה מבחנים שהיינו עושים X'ים ולא נכון, ואז שמים טבעת.
If you mark 2, then listen, how does it work? You let me tell, how does it work? Basically you have 10 laser beams, right? That are, again, for the second time. So you have a laser beam and you're using a number 2 pencil. What happens is a number 2 pencil has some luminosity to it. Luminosity? בהירות ומחזיר אור. Got it? So what the computer knows, if it shines 10 laser beams here, it goes like, oh, from here, because you painted it, right? You shaded it, then you have a reflection back of the light. So then the machine knows, oh, it marked here. Now, if you do this, you know, a human being would go like, oh, obviously the student did not mean for it to be a 3. Obviously the student meant for it to be a 7. Got it? But as far as the machine is concerned, here it has a reflection back from here and from here. So it knows that you marked twice and that's it. You're not going to get points. It's going to be a mistake. Got it? Good.
אפשר לעשות הערה?
Yep.
אני עשיתי את זה, שפשוט, כאילו זה באמת יותר, כאילו קל, אם חושבים על זה, שפשוט יש 3 edges בכל פאה, ויש לך 6 פאות, אז אתה מכפיל את זה, ויש לך פעמיים את הדרך. ואתה?
3 edges? זה לא נכון שיש 3 פאות.
כאילו בכל
בכל פאה יש 4.
כן, ברור, אבל היא יכולה לעבור רק דרך 3 כדי להגיע לקודקוד השני.
נכון.
נכון, ויש לך 6 פאות שיכולה לעבור.
אוקיי.
ואז כפול 2, אבל דרך היא צריכה ללכת.
למה? למה?
חושבים על זה, זה יותר קל מה שעושים.
לא, אני מנסה להבין כאילו...
אוקיי, אם אתה מצייר, יש לך 6 פאות, נכון?
אוקיי.
אם אתה לוקח קודקוד, אז בכל פאה הוא יכול לעבור 3 פעמים כדי להגיע לקודקוד הרצוי. נכון. אם אתה תצייר את זה ואתה תראה את הדרכים, אז אתה תבין. ואז הוא עושה את זה פעמיים.
כן,
כי הוא הולך פעם אחת הלוך ופעם אחת חזור.
גם אני הבנתי את זה ככה.
איך אתה אבל מגיעה ל-36?
כי מכפיל
6 כפול 3.
למה 6 כפול 3? אני מבין,
6 פאות.
המספרים עובדים, אני מנסה להבין את הרציונל. זה 6 כפול 3 כפול 2 זה 36, אני מנסה להבין.
6 פאות.
כן.
בכל פאה יש לך 3 edges שאתה יכול...
אבל היא לא יכולה, לא כל פאה היא רלוונטית.
כן, זה כן. תסתכל, אני ציירתי את זה, לא עשיתי.
אם היא הולכת בכיוון מסוים, זה לא שכל הפאות הן רלוונטיות בו זמן.
אבל תסתכל, אם אני פה אז זה 1, 2, 3, אני פה 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, קיצר, בכל פאה זה אפשר להגיע לזה.
זה לא בכל פאה, את רואה, יש 6 נתיבים אפשריים שעוברים דרך כל הפאות, זה משהו אחר לגמרי להגיד. יש 6, אני מבין, לא, את ציירת את זה במקרה, את לא מסבירה את עצמך נכון. נכון שיש 6 פאות בקובייה, זה ידוע, בסדר? ונכון שכל נתיב הוא 3 קצוות, הוא 3 מקצועות, מה שנקרא, נכון?
נכון, נכון.
אבל סך הכל יש 6 נתיבים, זו הסיבה שזה עובד. אם היית מדברת על צורה אחרת, זה לא היה עובד.
אבל עדיין, בכל אחת מהפאות